Although I'm Pastor Murphy with help along the way, we are discovering the social teachings of the church within the unit entitled Fulfilling Our Obligations to Neighbors. Our topic today is God Shows No Partiality, out of the book of Acts, chapter 10, 34 and 35. So let's step into a moment where everything shifts, not around Peter, but within him. God does not rank people the way we do. He responds to hearts, not category. Peter stands in the house of Cornelius. This alone is significant. A Jewish man in a Gentile home. A boundary has already been crossed. And then Peter says something that marks a turning point. Of a truth, I perceive that God is no respecter of persons. This isn't theory. This is realization. This is a man saying, I see now I was wrong about how I saw people. The phrase, no respecter of person, comes from a Greek expression meaning God does not receive faces. In other words, he's not swayed by appearance, not influenced by status, not biased by one's background. God does not favor based on race, elevate based on wealth, or dismiss based on our history. Instead, he says, in every nation, whoever fears him and works righteousness is accepted. Um, let's think about a resume comes across the desk. A couple of them. Same qualifications, same experience, same capacity. But one has a familiar name and the other doesn't. One feels like a better fit. So a decision is made not on merit, but on comfort. That's human partiality. Now, turn this upside down. God reads the resume of the heart, reverence, sincerity, hunger for truth, and he says, I'm not choosing based on what you see. I'm responding to what I know. Um, let's look at it this way. You walk into almost any gathering and just look and watch. People tend to sit with those that they know, with those that look like them, with those who think like them. You know, it's subtle, it's natural, it's human. But then someone new, it walks in. And the question becomes, do we make space or do we protect our comfort? Peter had to learn that the gospel it rearranges the room. Think of it this way. Two people are praying on the same day. One in an amazing, modern, polished sanctuary. The other in a quiet, cluttered apartment. One has amazing theological language. The other barely knows what to say. Both are sincere. Both are reaching. But heaven doesn't say, I prefer the polished one. Heaven responds to the honest one. Let's be honest in a deeper way. Partiality doesn't always show up as rejection. It often shows up as preference. Who do we naturally gravitate toward? Who do we unintentionally avoid? Who do we assume won't fit in our spaces? Because here's the tension. We can believe God is impartial and still live partial lives. Peter didn't just enter Cornelius' house. He allowed God to enter his assumptions. And once that shifted happened, everything changed. His message expanded, his ministry, it widened, and his heart is softened. Imagine a family dinner. There always been an unspoken rule. These are our people. Those who have the same traditions, same story, the same circles. Then one day someone brings a guest. Different background, different experience. At first it feels, uncomfortable, unfamiliar. But as the conversation unfolds, laughter is shared, stories are exchanged, and then something beautiful happens. The table, it didn't lose anything. It really gained something. And that is what happens when we embrace truly God's impartiality. Imagine standing in front of a mirror and ask, who do I see as my equal? Not in theory, but in practice. Who would I invite into my home? Who would I trust with my story? Who would I sit beside without hesitation? Because the truth is, our comfort zones often reveal our hidden biases. Imagine God with open hands, not clenched fists. He's not holding people at a distance, not sorting them into categories. He's saying, whoever comes, I will receive. Now the question becomes, do our hands reflect this? When you truly understand that God shows no partiality, you stop asking, do they belong? And start declaring, there is room. This is Pastor Murphy with help along the way, reminding you the gospel doesn't just save individuals, it shapes how we see everyone else. Join me, session 4, one in Christ, no divisions left standing. God bless you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.